You're lying in bed at 1 a.m. The lights are off. Your body is tired. But your mind won't stop replaying that one email you never sent, that one task you left half-finished on your desk. Why does it feel so loud in the dark? You finished 100 things today, but your brain isn't thinking about those. It's thinking about the one thing you didn't finish. That's strange, isn't it? Why would an unfinished grocery list feel heavier than an entire day of completed work? The answer isn't about willpower. It isn't about anxiety either. It's about a switch buried deep in your memory system, one that flips on the moment you start something and refuses to flip off until you're done. In the 1920s, a psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik sat in a crowded Vienna cafe and noticed something odd. The waiters could remember complex, unpaid orders in perfect detail, but the moment a bill was settled, the memory vanished. Paid orders disappeared from their minds almost instantly. Unpaid ones stayed sharp, vivid, fully loaded. Zeigarnik took that observation into the lab. She had participants complete a series of small tasks, puzzles, simple assignments, easy things. But she interrupted half of them before they could finish. Later, she asked everyone to recall what they'd worked on. The interrupted tasks were remembered nearly twice as often as the completed ones. Something about being cut off made the task stick. Why would your brain do this? Think about it from survival's side. If you're in the middle of building shelter, tracking prey, or finishing a plan, forgetting it halfway through could get you killed. Completion means safety. Incompletion means risk. So your mind evolved a kind of internal alarm. It keeps unfinished business active, circling, refusing to file it away. Psychologists later called this cognitive tension the Zeigarnik effect, and it explains something you feel almost every single day. It's why a cliffhanger in a show pulls you back for one more episode. It's why an open tab with 3 unread messages feels like a splinter in your mind. Your brain isn't built to relax around loose ends. It's built to chase them down. Here's where it gets stranger. Researcher Kenneth McGraw ran an experiment where people were asked to solve a puzzle, but right as they were about to finish, he stopped them and told them the experiment was over. Many refused to stop. They kept working anyway, driven by something that felt almost involuntary. The tension of an unfinished task didn't just linger in memory, it pushed people to act, even against instruction. Have you ever kept scrolling past the point where you were actually enjoying yourself? Have you ever kept refreshing an inbox for no real reason? That's the same pull. Your brain doesn't experience incompletion as neutral. It experiences it as an open loop that demands closing. This is also why to-do lists feel so oddly powerful. Researcher Roy Baumeister expanded on Zeigarnik's work decades later and found something surprising. It wasn't finishing a task that quieted the mental noise. It was making a specific plan for when and how you'd finish it. In his studies, people who simply wrote down a concrete plan for an unfinished task felt the same relief as people who actually completed it. Your brain, it turns out, doesn't need the task done. It needs the uncertainty removed. The open loop can close the moment you tell your mind exactly how it's going to be handled. That's why writing email client tomorrow at 9 a.m. can quiet a worry that vague guilt never could. Think about how much of modern life is built on this loophole. Every app on your phone is engineered around open loops. A notification badge is a tiny unfinished task, glowing red, refusing to let your mind fully move on. A show ending mid-scene is a manufactured Zeigarnik effect, built to keep you watching. Even unanswered texts create a low hum of tension, a small unresolved thread your brain keeps tugging at in the background. None of this is an accident. Designers learned long ago that incompletion, not reward, is often the strongest hook for attention. You're not weak for feeling pulled back to your phone. You're responding exactly the way a mind built for survival is supposed to respond to an unclosed loop. But this same mechanism, once understood, becomes something you can use instead of being used by. If unfinished tasks create tension and specific plans dissolve that tension, then you don't need to finish everything today to feel calm today. You need clarity, not completion. A messy, unplanned to-do list will haunt you all day. The same list, broken into specific next actions, goes quiet almost immediately. This is why productivity systems obsess over next steps instead of vague goals. It isn't really about efficiency. It's about giving your ancient alarm system permission to stand down. So the next time your mind won't let go of something small, a message you haven't sent, a chore left half done, a thought you didn't finish thinking, remember what Zeigarnik saw in that Vienna cafe. You are not broken. You are not anxious for no reason. You are running a system built long before email, long before phones, long before to-do lists existed at all. A system that never learned the difference between an unfinished spreadsheet and an unfinished hunt. It just knows the loop isn't closed, and it will keep circling back quietly, patiently, until you tell it exactly how it will be. So tonight, when the lights are off and your mind starts replaying that one unfinished thing, you won't wonder why anymore. You'll know exactly what your brain is asking for. Not more effort, just one clear plan. And the moment you give it that, the noise finally goes quiet.